Manager Earl Weaver selects knuckleballer Wilbur Wood to protect the lead. Chris Fire bounces out Bobby Grich to Norm Cash. Wood fans Cedeno for out number 2, and Morgan remains on second. Oliver pops up to third baseman Sal Bando to end the inning, and manager Danny Murtaugh calls on relief pitcher Tug McGraw.
Hi, everybody. Somebody big just died. My guy, Wilbur Wood. And as we start every show, you're wondering, where the hell's Joe Mandel? Joe is working, but he's behind the scenes tonight. He's coughing. He's got hiccups. See, 4 or 5 years ago, because I'm hearing people all over the country, including Chicago, and I just walked the dog, and it's snowing again. Okay, so we're getting hit with snow. Coldest November and December I can remember since like 79. Okay, but 4 or 5 years ago, this was COVID, what everybody's going through right now. Now there's people, I was at a couple places today, people coughing. 3 or 4 years ago, they're home. They take the test. Now nobody's taking the test. Okay, and I'm not saying that Joe's got COVID. All I'm saying is that was the flu 5 years ago. Millions die from the flu each year. We've lost 38 kids. Wait, check that. 32 pediatric. We've lost 32 kids this winter season so far in the country. Lost them. They died. So this is serious business. This would have sent everybody in a panic. You know why? We were all here. So now everybody's saying it's the flu because nobody wants to be shut down again. But everybody I've talked to has been on their back for 4, 5, 6 days. But they've recovered. Okay? And every year kids die of flu. Now maybe this is one of those deals. But if this would have been in 2018 or 19, okay, and the way everybody's sick like this, that would have been what it was. And there's people that have symptoms like hiccups and stuff. That was a symptom of what they said was COVID 3, 4 years ago. I'll give you a little tip, and then we'll get on with the show. Take vitamin D every day. I'm not saying I could end up getting the flu tomorrow. Okay, knock on wood, I don't. Okay, but vitamin D every single day. Okay, and I was just, and that's what I've been doing for like 10 years, me and baby. Every single day, vitamin D, no matter what, for the rest of your life. Okay? So Joe's behind the scenes tonight, but he did a tremendous job. Great open. And let's first go to the advertisers tonight. Cumberland Chapels, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, 8300 West Lawrence Avenue. Out there at CumberlandChapels.com. Anthony Lupo Sr., Anthony Lupo Jr., Peter Martino, Louis Martino. They've been serving families with dignity and grace forever. Well, not forever, but for decades. They are the epitome of what a funeral home should be. Okay, there's some recent testimonials. There is the place. Takes up about a half a city block. Then you got, of course, if you could see to the left, the cars. They got parking behind and on both sides. And then huge shopping center across the street where you could park. So check out Cumberland Chapels. Well, don't check them out if you need to make arrangements. They'll walk you through it. 8300 West Lawrence Avenue, Norwich, Illinois, and they'll make it economical for you. Now, then you can head on over, or whether you do a rehearsal or my browser has failed, so I can't see the video clips, but I will just go by the fact that today I went by Pennyville Station. Joe, just keep in mind, I can't see anything. It's a dark screen. I went by Pennyville Station. Want to say hi. We took some pictures. Joe Paglini, me and Tino. There, Jesse and Tony Antonacci, Jesse Rogers, who I talked to today about Lewis Robert. Also, Sienna and Patty. There they are. It's up. And there's me with Joe Paglini. If you've ever been to the gas station on Tui by Greenwood, the Shell, Joe's family owned that for years. I'm hearing he might be going back there. There's Tino on the right. There now I'm sitting there having a meal, and the beer drivers come in, and the guy goes, "Mike North?" He goes, "Yeah, huge fan." I go, "Well, you're going to say that to me? Let's take a picture." I think his name was Billy. I want to say it was Bill. Bill, or if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. But there was a lot of people. I went, you know what? I'm as popular as ever, which means that I went out today because usually it's just me and B at home. Okay. And then there's Patty and there's Sienna at Pennyville Station. Make sure. Now, the weather's bad, but I'll tell you what, the night times are great. You got the mahi tuna. You got Tino's. You got the beautiful happy hour from 2 to 5. It's at 112 South Main Street. You can check out North to North today. My Twitter handle, NORTH number 2, NORTH, and check out those pictures plus other pictures. But it was a great, great time had by one and all. Had the monster cheeseburger, had some broccoli with a little oil, vinegar and oil on it. Yeah, eat healthy. And then we had some Diet Pepsi. So great, great time. So I know people that think Wilbur Wood was dead, and maybe it's an honest mistake. Okay. But I knew he wasn't dead because I'm a huge fan. I was in the Army. Well, before that, I mean, I was in high school. Wilbur Wood. Look at him. Not in great shape. Never cared what he looked like. And there is Coach Johnny Sane, who showed him that you could throw the knuckleball and pitch every 2 days. Okay, so we'll talk about that. The Sox at one time had 3 knuckleballers: Wilbur Wood, Eddie Fisher, and Hoyt Wilhelm. Why the knuckleball? I think Tim Wakefield was the last guy to use it. Why the knuckleball is dead, I'll never know. It should still be going. Believe me, it takes no effort to pitch, and I'll tell you why in a minute. He just passed away October 22nd. He was born 1941 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Died January 17th at age 84. He batted right, but he threw left. His major league debut was June 30th, 1961 for the Boston Red. Paul, I'm with you 100%. I mean, you can go through a lot of White Sox pitchers. I remember, I go back to the 60s, Gary Peters, Joe Horland, just giants, great pitchers. I was a kid. I was impressionable. But Wilbur Wood was an oddity, and I'll explain why in a minute. His last major league appearance, August 22nd, 1978. So the guy had a 17-year career, folks. All right? A 17-year career. You can't beat that. He was raised in Belmont, Massachusetts. He played several sports in high school and was signed by his hometown. How about that? Boston Red Sox in 1960. He pitched sparingly for them over parts of 4 seasons. There he is in the All-Star game in 72, his only one, and he just put on a gem. They couldn't hit the knuckleball. I think Morgan tagged him, if I remember correctly, for a double or something like that. He refined the knuckleball because he had used it, but not in games. Curveball and fastballs only. The Pirates weren't impressed. The Red Sox weren't impressed. But then they refined the knuckleball, and that's all he used after that. That's all he used after that. So the bottom line is that he, and somebody was just calling me. I should have had my phone off. Pitched. Are you kidding me? In 1968, he set a record with 88 games pitched and was named the Sporting News American League Fireman of the Year. 88 appearances as a relief pitcher, okay? The White Sox tried to trade Wood before the 71 season, but an injury by starting pitcher Joe Horland caused them to put him in the starting rotation. That season, pitching coach Johnny Sain suggested that Wood pitch with only 2 days rest between starts. Since knuckleball specialists do not put as much stress on their arms as other pitchers, Wood proceeded to lead the American League in games started from 72 through 75, starting a career high. Listen to this, 49 games. Now they go 30, 31, 32, folks. Okay? That season, he also recorded, are you ready? You know, they throw 220, what is it now? 212, 220, 230 innings if you're really going to go. Wilbur Wood, okay, in 1972, pitched 376 innings in one season, okay? Breaking the live ball era record of 376, because he had 376 and 2/3, Wilbur. Mickey Lolich, how about that guy? 376 innings pitched, also won 3 games in the 1968 World Series. I know. Leading the American League in wins. He won 20 or more games, 4 consecutive seasons, leading the American League in 72 and 73 with 24 wins. So this guy wasn't a joke. Yeah, that's me. I'm reading about him right there. Wood also matched the 1966 and 1916 record of Walter the Train Johnson, the big train, of a pitcher to win 20 and then lose 20 or more games in the season. He was an all-star in 71, an all-star in 72, and an all-star in 74. Now, tragedy. Unbelievable. I'll never forget it like it was yesterday. Ron LaFleur, who ended up playing for the White Sox, good ball player, was playing for the Detroit Tigers. Wood made only 7 starts in 1976 because Ron LaFleur, I'll never, you could hear it on the TV, hit a line drive right off of his knee. It knocked him out, and despite months of rehabilitation, he was gun shy. He admitted it. I'm afraid the ball's going to go up the middle on me. Now, this was a guy that was a man's man. He pitched. He played defense for his college and high school hockey team, and he played quarterback for his high school team. So it's not like he was afraid of contact. He played hockey. He played baseball. He played football. But this broke his knee. And they tried to not have surgery for him. So one day he's walking out in his house and he slips. And they had just put together some contraption. And the thing fell out of socket again and he retired. That's what happened to Wilbur Wood. And I'll tell you how special Wilbur Wood was. I was in the Army from 1972 to 1974. Okay? I took leave in 1973. I remember like it was yesterday, mid-April. And that's Wilbur on the left. Look at Wilbur. He was 94. Okay? He was in great shape, great health. Those were I like these uniforms better now than I did before. Okay? But Wilbur Wood, I'm in the Army. I'm at, I want to say Fort Riley at the time, Kansas. I took leave to come home and watch the White Sox. And I went to the game that Wilbur Wood pitched. I think he won it. and he had a decent, he won the game, but, it was just cool. I took the L with my buddies, home from the Army. We took the L to 35th Street, and went. It's my guy. Oh, we're falling apart over here. Aldo Gandia. By the way, speaking of my good friend, my man, tonight, the Bears talk best. They bare their souls. Folks, this is the year that Aldo and I always dreamed of, and this year I decided not to do a show. It's on the Barroom Network tonight. This year I said, you know what, I'm going to just do the somebody big just died, and I'll tag us for certain things and everything else. And Aldo said, yeah, and I got a heavy workload, and he hasn't been feeling all that upright lately, all that good. And what do? What do? They ended up having one of the great seasons I can ever remember, period. The 85 season will always be my favorite. And the 80s were pretty damn good. But this was a season that will never happen again. So next year, I would advise them to get the lead in a few of these games. Yes, he was 20-plus wins, 20-plus losses. Love us some Wilbur. I would advise us to get the lead next year. And I really want, and I'm not saying a damn thing against, I made this vow. I predicted them for 7-8 wins. Look what they did. And Caleb is grown with the city. Him and PCA are going to all the sporting events. They got a great friendship. This is how the Bears and Cubs and Hawks used to do it. The Pope, of course. How's he feeling? Nobody's talked to him about it. I bet you he's saying what I said. And it's not hindsight, because BB will tell you, I wanted them to kick a field goal the first drive, and they didn't make it. That's right. And that's how Ben looked when he said we're going to go for it. I thought that we left points on the table. I thought we could have won. We should have won by 6 to 9 points, but that's okay. We'll be back next year, because Caleb better get better. Can't have 5 interceptions in 2 games, but look what he did. Look at that pass in the end zone. It's insane. Okay. But he still got to improve his percentage, and the Bears got to improve their defense. I know. Now, back to Wilbur, because I had to give my Bears. Somebody big didn't die. The Bears. What a season they had. All right. So now Wilbur Wood is he pitched for Boston from 61 to 64. What a thrill. What a thrill, because that was his hometown team. But Roland Heeman, okay, who was a Boston Red Sox executive at the time, wasn't impressed. His fastball sucks and his curveball sucks. So guess what he did? He got himself a knuckleball. Pitched for the Pirates from 64 to 65. He appeared near the end of the year with the Pirates. It didn't work out. White Sox is where he hit his stride. 1967 to 1978, he was a relief pitcher from 67 to 70. Then he became a dominant starter. Yes, he won 20. Yes, he lost 20. I mean, just one of these deals. He was an all-star and a workhorse. Now, in 1971, there was disagreement about the White Sox management. What else is new? About what to do with Wood. And this is amazing, because Reinsdorf didn't own the team at the time. New manager Chuck Tanner wanted to make him a starter, but Heeman, the same person who was unimpressed with Wood when he had tried out for the Braves, wanted to trade him to the Angels, which would have been a mistake. The Sox built their roster around younger players. The Angels, however, were not interested in the trade. Wood also recalled that a team wanted to trade him to the Senators for Darryl Knowles, but was unable to because Knowles was holding out for more money. Entering the 71 season, Wood was poised to be a reliever again, but he was added to the rotation when the great Joe Horlem was hurt. All right. In the month of April, he failed to record a decision. He won 3 games in May. On the 22nd of the month, he picked up his first shutout, holding the Angels to 6 hits, 13-0, and the rest is history. The rest is history. The line drive ended up hurting him. I'm trying to see who number 34 is. I can't remember who number 34 is. I don't know if that's Eddie Fisher. I can't even remember now. But I'm not getting sun timers. I mean, I'm just telling you. Some timers I don't have. His injury killed him, knocked him out. He tried to come back and pitch. He couldn't do it. His career stats, all right, in 17-year major league career, he was 164 and 156 with a 3.24 ERA in 661 games. That was Eddie Fisher. Thank you, my friend. He had 1,411 strikeouts in 2,684 innings pitched. They didn't know how to handle it. Okay? There's no doubt about it, Abe. Abe Lincoln, a big fan. What a great weapon for any pitching staff. 80 innings, never injured. He pitched on 2 days rest one year. Saint says, you're not putting any pressure on your arm. That's why I don't understand. You can learn to knuckleball when you're 50. And if you want to go out there, you could pitch some innings. That's just the way it is. He posted, he was not a good hitter. He hit 84 for his career, 27 hits and 322 at bats. So just a little bit less than Mancata. All right. Oh, by the way, speaking of the White Sox, what's all the hand wringing about Lewis Robert? Huh? The guy was here 7 years, still can't speak English. Never did an interview. Never did an interview. You got to try. Always was hurt. The Mets think they got to steal. They're in trouble. I'm not the Mets. The Mets. Wait till you think that the soft-ass Chicago media is anything compared to what he's going to face with the Mets? He will get destroyed out there. We coddled all these guys. The media coddled them. The team coddled them. And that's what happened. And now he's out there and they ate the Sox. They said, we want to get equal value. They're lucky they got anybody for him. That's a whole debacle, that whole rebuild thing. I was glad I was on the right side of that one. They could have used Wilbur Wood. Could have used Wilbur Wood. There's no doubt. Now, he's first eligible for the Hall of Fame in 84. He received votes for 6 years. His best year was 1988 when he garnered 7% of the vote after receiving just 3.1% of the vote in 89. You don't have to tell. Look, you know who he was to me? Cub fans will understand this. He was our Rick Russell, okay? Or Rick Russell was the Cub fans' Wilbur Wood. They were similar. They were portly. They logged a lot of innings. They won 20 games multiple times. They pitched in all-star games. So there's a parallel between the two, and I enjoyed watching both of them. Now, in the prime of his career, his knuckleball would go 60 to 70 miles an hour. Okay? And he threw the knuckleball 80% of the time. So he was just a great player. And what was good about the Sox schedule, I'd like to see Mike Burley make the Hall of Fame. With the Sox schedule and with the way that things were, okay, Wilbur Wood, to me, and for what he did and for what he accomplished, there's got to be some notoriety for him. And you know what? He got his due diligence on SportsCenter and everything else. And with the pitching, the catchers were Jerry McNerney, and I don't remember the other guy, but I think it might have been Tom Egan. But they already knew how to catch the knuckleball because of Hoyt Wilhelm and Eddie Fisher. So there wasn't that much of an adjustment period. And those two guys threw the knuckleball almost 80 to 90% of the time also. So, you know, somebody big just died. Now, on November 6th, he was married to Sandra Malcolm, of whom he had been interested in since high school. There you go, big guy. His athleticism ran in the family. Fishing was a hobby. He would often go out and catch snook, whatever that is, during Chicago spring training in Sarasota. He also garnered and cooked and continued to follow baseball, though not as much as he did while still playing. Afterwards, 300-plus inning seasons, he was not a fan of the later inning relief pitchers. Well, how do you think he likes it now? You know, they were becoming so prevalent in baseball by 2001. He was good friends with Jim Price, a catcher that he ended up with Detroit, but caught him in Columbus. He died on January 17, 2026 at a hospital in Burlington at the age, and I'm sorry, I said 94. He was 84. Wilbur had a good following, was a great guy, and he's going to be missed by White Sox fans. And the White Sox gave him a nice send-off on social media. They said some nice things about him. So I thought that was classy too. So that's it. That's Wilbur Wood, folks. And the guy was just a lot of fun to watch. I like pitchers that are Greg Maddux was fun to watch. Wilbur Wood was fun to watch. Russell was fun to watch. You know, Ted Abernathy with the submarine. Guys that are fun to watch. Louis Tiant, fun to watch. You know, interested in watching them. Career highlights and awards, 3-time All-Star, 71, 72, 74. 2-time AL wins leader, 72 and 73. So, bare their souls, I know, coming up at 8:30 p.m. Love my guy. Central Standard Time. I got it out early, too. You know what? That was me this morning. Yeah, that was me. I love the logo. I never noticed that before. What's he sitting on? And he's naked, ladies and gentlemen. So check him out. And the White Sox got prospect Luis Angel Acuna in the Robert trade. That's a steal. Don't ask me. The guy might have one leg. You're welcome, guys. Wilbur Wood was great. We all loved him. Anybody that could remember him. And now, hopefully, I introduced him, Joe and I, to a whole new group of fans. So on behalf of our great sponsors, Pennyville Station. Had a great time there today. Spent a couple hours there. And, of course, Cumberland Chapels. I don't want to spend a couple hours there till another 20 years plus. Okay. Also, had a great time with all the people there. Met a lot of great folks. And don't forget, Bare Their Souls is coming up at 8:30 on behalf of Joe Mandel, Mike North, the Podfather himself, Eldo Gandia. Wilbur Wood was all that, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show. Good night.